back, everybody.
We're back.
Taylor picked a good one.
I did. It's a nice one tonight.
So you said we have Jund versus Mark Anliker's Naya Pacifier.
Naya Pacifier.
Naya Pacifier is a mainstay.
Here on Top Deck Productions, Hot Tuesday.
Used to
modern
be that
action.
Naya was very good against Jund because you get to run like all the hosers.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, you got to play Loxodon Smiters and Guiltleaf Lieges, or Wiltleaf Lieges. So, don't think we're going to see that much of a hate, but we'll see how it turns out here. Let's get down to the action. Down to the action. Down to the action, boys. Get on down to the action. Get us down there. Let's go.
There we go.
Firing it off.
Michael Day on Jund.
Mitchell.
Mitchell. Sorry. Yep, I'm the worst. I'm a bad person. Naya Pile. Is that a mark? Is that a mark request to call it the Pile? No. All right.
Well, we didn't get a response, so I'm going to assume that it wasn't, and we need to change it to Naya Pacifier.
Yep.
At least on Tuesday nights.
Minimally on Tuesday nights.
Minimally on Tuesday, at the very least. Looks like we're going to get started off here.
Here we go.
Mark looks like he's got a turn 1 Wild Nikotl.
Too bad he's going second. Here's the Inquisition of Kozilek. Going to sort the hand for him.
No red mana. Interesting. So you still take the Nikotl here unless you have a push. In which case you take
the Bloodbraid Elf.
You can't take a Bloodbraid Elf.
Oh, sure. You're right.
Probably take the Helix. I saw a Confidant in Mitchell's hand.
Yeah.
I don't see any removal in Mitchell's hand, so... Ooh. I think the right call there is just to take the Nikotl.
Yeah.
Even though it's just a 2/2, the odds of him finding a red source are pretty high.
Yeah.
In worst case scenario, it's a 2/2 for 1. And you just took basically a 2/2 for 2 as there's no graveyards yet.
Yep. Maybe he just knows long term he's going to have to fight that.
Yeah, long term.
He's going to have to make that ooze fight happen.
Absolutely.
And so Mark's going to go back up to 19 after taking 4 from his Painlands and gaining 3 from his Lightning Helix.
What do you think about Tribal Flames and Burn? I think it's bad.
Yeah, that's probably not. I've played, I won't say every version of Burn, but I've played a lot of iterations of that deck.
We played a tapped Blood Crypt with no removal that I can see, as opposed to playing an untapped Blood Crypt
and putting this
Lily Last Hope and plus on this Wild Nikotl. So
yeah,
we
you
just
get this
paid 2 life to time walk ourselves.
Right.
Not exactly where I want to be.
Yeah, you always want to be advancing the board with this Jund deck. The new style of Jund with Bloodbraid Elf is, I mean, it's not
aggressive in the sense of a burn deck, but it's aggressive in the sense that you need to be utilizing your mana every single turn, and that's something you need to actively think about.
I would have gotten an additional green source here, by the way, on this fetch.
I like this because you don't want to take the damage and you don't have a second forest.
Well, you couldn't even get it with the Bloodstained Mire anyway, but I want to have all the possible green sources.
The classic.
Yeah, this is
just
this is the way they draw it up.
And block.
When Jund players are thinking all the sweet thoughts as they lay their heads on their pillows.
Yeah, like this is what I want to happen.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna be able to block this Wild Nikotl. Mark has to give some serious consideration of firing up the Stirring Wildwood.
Yeah.
But in Mark's hand, I did see a Bloodbraid Elf.
Okay.
So the awkward counter Bloodbraid Elf interaction should be able to take care of this Liliana, barring shenanigans.
Yeah, and this is where like having the other Liliana in play already
would have made a world of difference.
Yeah, it would have been a big deal because you would have been able to negative this Liliana, plus the other Liliana shrinking the one that he didn't sack and then sending your Bloodbraid into it. And, like, you're trading off your Liliana, but, like, it's going to die anyway. He's got to, like, pick one at that point.
Well, you still have the Bloodbraid as a blocker.
Oh, sure. I guess your Bloodbraid lives through the block.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Big game.
And then you get a minus your other Lily if he does kill the Bloodbraid and buy it back.
This is where, so, like, this Jund deck has just an infinite number of lines.
Right.
And experience in playing it is so critical because you create situations where you get to think through a lot of lines, and then eventually you start recognizing patterns.
Right. So in this case, Mark has a Dramoka's command I think he's considering deploying, but instead opts for the... Naya Charm is a spicy one to cascade into. Not a good one to play, period. But if you're cascading into this card, anytime you can cascade into something that's A, modal, or B, like, has kicker, or escalate, in our case here, it's very strong because you just get so many options.
Are you going as far as to add, like, Jund Charms to your Jund deck? Just, like, one?
So I'm not going to add any Jund Charms. If I was going to run an Anger of the Gods, I'd probably run a Jund Charm over it.
Okay. In the main?
Not in the main. But it makes Collective Brutalities better, as if that card needed it. Colligan's Command's better, as if that card needed it. Planeswalker's better. Just because they fit so many different roles.
So he decides to trade the Bloodbraid off with the...
Well, he wants it to die. Because he has the other Lily and he can buy back the Bloodbraid.
Oh, sure.
So now we're going to get to Lily, buy back the Bloodbraid, play a Tarmogoyf. And we're in great shape.
Sure, Mark with one card in hand, I believe?
One card in hand, and we
know
many cards in hand.
3 cards.
We know one of them is a Scavenging Ooze.
And we know one is a Dramoka's command.
Well, we know that. Mitchell doesn't know that.
Oh, Mitchell doesn't know. You're right. Alright, here's Liliana. She's going to target the Bloodbraid Elf and then cast this Tarmogoyf. It's a 5/4.
We got Lugger91 in the chat here, who is a Naya Pile Master. Says that Mark should have gone to the face. So, I often think that Mark should go to the face, but he plays a very methodical play style, and it has led me to nickname his deck Naya Pacifier.
Right.
But it serves him well.
Yeah, methodical is a generous term.
I am a generous man. If nothing else, I am generous.
Okay. All right. I'll let it stand.
Unlike my co-host, who is not generous.
Oh, BS. I'm super generous.
Refused to donate to the childhood diabetes fund last time we went through Wendy's.
I
even
took you
went
to...
so far as to say that they would probably just spend the money on booze.
I never said that. You made that up. Listen, I took you to dinner after I won my PPTQ.
You did.
Even though you abandoned me.
I came
loses round 1. Salt abandons me.
It wasn't Salt. I wasn't feeling it.
Goes home and watches.
Had a good time.
Watches anime and takes a nap.
Yeah, it was the best Saturday ever.
And comes back to scoop me up.
Brought you a Red Bull for the top 8.
Yeah, you did bring me a Red Bull for the finals.
It was very.
It felt good. It was nice. I probably could have taken a Dramamine and still won that finals.
True. So Mark has some interesting decisions here.
Not that my opponent played poorly. He drew poorly. He drew like 10 lands in the final game or something stupid.
Very interesting that Mitchell decided to plus this Liliana instead of immediately minusing it. Mark, we know, does have a Scavenging Ooze in hand.
Right. Yeah, so Mark could play the Scavenging Ooze and get whatever target Mitchell comes up with for the Liliana minus. I also just think that Mitchell has a better... He's got more cards in his deck that go long better than Mark does. And so he's not. I'm not entirely mad about him wanting to get this Liliana up, and away.
Hi, Smith with a P.
Smith with a P.
Yeah, Smith with a P.
Is that kind of like Detlef Shrimp?
Kind of. Lily minus does not target.
Oh yeah, you just roll off 2 cards and then pick one.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so Mark is doing the old ghost quarter my own land to get an additional
green source,
which is fine, I guess. So yeah, he doesn't. Mitchell doesn't have that many creatures in graveyard, so he's gonna activate Liliana. Mark responds with remove the Bloodbraid because it's the only one there now, and then he has to hit one of a creature in the top 2 to make it have any sort of value, right?
Right. That's why I think it was loose of Mitchell to not immediately minus the Lily.
Sure.
And even if he does hit double creature, Mark has access to 3 green sources. And Mitchell will just
no. Once the ability is resolving, Mark doesn't get to remove the 2 creatures that get.
Oh sure.
If they come off the top, he doesn't get a chance to remove them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of lines
What?
from Mitchell. Oh, we're getting in there. Well, so like the Lily doesn't do a ton right now.
All right. Imagine a Stomping Grounds is going to be the find. Or just basic mountain. Nope, Stomping Grounds it is.
We want as many green sources as possible to fuel this scavenging use.
Oh yeah, man. He can get the Bloodbraid Elf, get the Liliana, really make this guy small. Oh, he just doesn't want to rumble at all. Just going to take it.
No rumbling in the jungle. We're going to plus, I guess. Should have probably minus, but multiple turns now. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Mitchell's line here.
I'm not like a huge fan of him minusing either.
Minusing
I don't think
fine.
he has like a ton of good options. To be completely blunt.
Well, he had good options 2 turns ago. When
Agreed.
He should have minused the Lily immediately. Oh,
Oh, there was a Dark Confidant down there.
Yeah, he should have definitely minused then.
Sure.
That's just bad. And Mark continues to draw gas, hits the Elspeth.
Not the Sun's Champion, the
Knight Errant.
Knight Errant. Thanks for the save there.
Fam. I got you.
4-drop one. I only know them by their drops.
The drops.
There's a 4, a 5, and a 6. Elspeth.
All right, so the scavenging is big enough to just take down this Lily by eating one of your own Nicodles. So I'd probably just do that and send 3 to the dome. Mark seems content
2.
to be...
He plus the Lily on the scavenging use.
Oh, so it'd just be 1 actually.
Or on the Bloodbraid rather.
Right. So that's just 1.
So yeah, here's a Elspeth making a soldier to protect itself.
As she does.
The attack was really just a confirmation that Mitchell didn't have a removal spell. Because you burn your removal spell there to help save your Liliana, right?
Yeah, you burn your removal spell before he gets to untap to kill the scavenging use.
Sure.
As it stands,
so now
he's in top deck mode. He needs something good and quick. Because this Elspeth's going to take over the game.
Yeah, Maelstrom Pulse, I don't know if he's playing 1 copy of... Why can't I think of card names when I try and do this?
I don't know. Dreadbore?
Dreadbore.
Yeah.
Jeez. I had a...
Jeez Louise.
I had a black-red card with
we have different printings.
That's fine. I mean, Tarmogoyf's a hard card to get a hold of sometimes, so...
Yeah. Sometimes you just can't find your 4th Tarmogoyf, and it's real embarrassing. Untapped.
Where did that go?
I don't know. I mean, I have so many cards all over the place that...
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll turn up.
Listen, man, I've lost 2 sets of Heart of Kieran, so you don't have to tell me about missing cards.
Mark giving this a good long think.
So here you got this Elspeth plus that lets your
yeah, jump your elf and get in for 6.
no,
and then
screw jumping your elf. Jump the Scavenging Ooze. Just get
feel
in for the most amount of damage possible. Get in for 7, 8, 9 if you want to.
Well, so like, if you get in for 6, then he's down to 5. If he finds an answer for your Elspeth, you're still in great shape.
Yeah, I guess getting in for 7 is the same thing as getting in for 6.
Right.
Because it's just two turns of attacking no matter what. And leaving back the Scavenging Ooze is better against these 5-6 glyphs.
You just get a block. But Mark agrees with you. He's going to bump this thing up, get it to a 6/6, and deal 9 damage here.
Yeah, so I don't think you need to deal 9. I was interested in dealing 8.
He's got a Dramoka's command as well. He can make it 10. And we are.
Oh, and then use the final green he has to make it 11.
Oh, there it is.
Sure, he found a way to get him that turn.
Found a way. I like it.
That's... I love it when people beat me and I don't see the way they're going to do it.
So that was an interesting game. I feel like Mitchell had an early lead and kind of squandered it.
Yeah.
By not optimizing his Planeswalker play, which is something we're going to see a lot of here in the coming days of Modern when we're having multiple Lilianas from Jund and Jace and Gideons and...
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie to you. It would not make me sad if Modern became like the format of the Planeswalker. Like every deck just had to have 3 or 4 different Planeswalkers in it, and you just had these like great board stalls where like... Because, here's why. Because Planeswalkers, the good ones, have many different activated abilities.
Yes, that was a very nice line from Mark Anliker. Sorry.
Agreed. Mark played well there.
Yeah.
Mark played nicely there. Because Planeswalker has so many different activated abilities, it creates a lot of decision points for players, and I think it lets players who play better win more.
I don't think Mark has Lingering Souls in his deck now. So we're already at a point where most decks are running at least a Planeswalker, if not 2.
Okay.
I don't think you need to make it the format of Planeswalkers because Magic is just the game of Planeswalkers at this point.
Sure.
So there's that. Additionally,
furthermore,
I like Modern just being open. Like, play what's good, play what you want, make it happen.
Have some fun.
The Wild West.
Oh, you want Modern to be more wild?
Yeah.
And more westernly?
Well...
Super westernly.
Super westernly. Talking like Alaska westernly. That far west.
Yeah, so depending on how you define westernly and where you define like this split between east and west, Alaska is our most western state unless you use the international date line and there's part of the Aleutian Islands that cross the date line and they're our most eastern point in the United States. Did you know that? That's a little fact from my trivia days, back when I was a trivia buff.
A little trivia for you there.
I was actually the worst player on my trivia team, but...
Lugger91. I also hate losing to turn 3 Karn.
Is it Lugger or Luger?
Luger has 1 G.
Okay.
Lugger has 2 Gs.
Okay. Lugging it around. Since 91, man.
It's a long time. Some tired shoulders.
For sure.
After a long day of lugging things around, last thing I want to do is lose to Natural Tron Karn.
Concur.
It's just the worst.
No, it takes something that This should be fun. Should be a good time. Come out, play some Magic, shake the day's worries off, and relax a little bit. And then you're just getting ranched by this Tron deck.
Yeah.
It's not fun for anybody.
Yeah, it's basically the worst. Just some guy whose teeth are practically horizontal because he's been mouth breathing his entire life. And
my thing is when I beat somebody, like, even though I play Affinity and like that has some hands that are unbeatable, I still like have a little bit of a bad feeling about like just winning those games. Like I'll take the win in a competitive setting, but like,
so you shouldn't.
I'm much more proud of the wins where like I had to play well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Tron just doesn't have those. Tron's just one of these decks where like you either like drew it or you didn't. I don't feel like there's a ton of
turn 1 Hierarch. Mitchell with the turn 1 Raging Ravine, and we're gonna fire off a Scavenging Ooze of our own, letting Mark untap with his Noble Hierarch. Probably a mistake if we had a way to stop it.
Come on, let's look.
I believe he has a Pulse.
Well, that's not a way to stop it on turn 2, but
right. We're gonna bolt Scavenging Ooze. And speaking of like finding interesting ways to win and being proud of it, Mark should be very proud of that round 1. I was very impressed.
Yeah, that game 1 was solid.
Yeah. Played that very tight. How about a turn 2 Voice? That's a very resilient threat. Put threat in quotes if you want.
I don't hate it, and like this Jund deck, you need it's a repeatable. It's 2 creatures, so theoretically you're gonna have to spend 2 removal spells on it because there's not really a efficient way to exile it from the battlefield.
Sure.
You're always gonna get that die trigger pretty much 100% of the time. Mitchell taking 2.
How about another bolt?
And Scavenging Ooze eats a bolt.
Double bolt for your double Scavenging Ooze.
Quick aside, what kind of bolts do you like?
M11.
M11 bolts?
M11 bolts. That's my favorite bolt.
Alright, checks out.
Just non-foil M11 bolt.
So will you take like any bolt with that art? Because it was done in M12, right? And then M14?
It doesn't have flavor text in M11.
Alright. Oh, are we getting bolts in Masters 25?
Yeah, but it's got flavor text and...
Oh, why did they
ruined
do that?
They ruined it.
They should have gotten back... I guess Chris Rush is dead. You can't really pay him for his art.
I mean, you could pay his family.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd love it. They're still very active in
the community. They do. There's a guy out there that...
His daughter, for a while, was going
was
to
his
events,
daughter
yeah.
was going to events and selling the remainder of his stuff. I love that. I mean, I have a ton of respect for artists that get out there and engage with the community because it's an important part of Magic's fan base in general.
Did Mitchell keep this hand on 2 Scavenging Oozes? Not playing something on 3 is a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, Jund has basically a litany of threats on 3. You know, you could do Fulminator Mages. You could play. There's a 3rd bolt from Mark. That's gonna feel real bad.
Oh, what are you doing?
Oh no, baby! What is you doing?
What are you doing? He's getting 2 elementals now.
Oh no, baby! What is you doing?
This is just not good. He has a pulse. I guess he could clean up both of these with, but you don't like to see that.
That's not my favorite thing I've seen anybody do.
Eat your other skews. Eat my voice resurgence. Let's get this
banging for 5. The old Cinco. This is one of those matchups where I wouldn't mind playing like 20 or so games post sideboard, just to see where it falls.
Yeah, typically, like I said previously, oh, we've got a Bantus. didn't want to spring for the damnation, I guess. And that's fine. It's a $20 card. I mean, I guess you're going to be a little bit budget. I don't think Bantu's on 5 is particularly good or planned. But now we just have to sit and wait, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be really interested to see if there's an advantage either way in this matchup.
I would wager that Naya has an advantage. And they could build it to have a near overwhelming advantage if they really wanted it.
Sure. I mean, judging by what's in the room tonight, it seems like if you brought an anti-Jund deck into the world, you'd be in good shape.
So to be fair, there's 4 Jund decks out of like what, 20? 16?
Oh, I thought we said there was like 6 out of.
It was like 4, but 5, but he crossed one out because it was something else.
Okay. So Mark had a weird line there. He kept Voice of Resurgence in his hand and let a mana float when he could have played Nikotl Voice of Resurgence.
Right.
He instead played.
Well, he has a Bolt in hand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's doing.
So he was going to represent Bolt for like a Dark Confidant or something.
You're going to get an tap step before he gets a Bolt.
What?
Before he gets a Dark Confidant trigger, you're going to get an untap step. You don't need to represent it.
Yeah, but
you just want to put the pressure on.
Put the pressure on. So in this case, I'm sure he's glad that his Nikotl got bolted and not his Voice of Resurgence.
I need to find a deck where attacking is like the wrong thing to do, like 75% of the time. The Hammer.
The Hammer.
Is that a last name?
No, I think it's Hammer with an A instead of an E.
Oh, okay. No, I know somebody with the last name Hama.
Swifty Druid. He couldn't activate Raging Ravine last turn because of the Bantu's Last Reckoning. He can now.
Yeah.
So I think if he was thinking along those lines, he would have just kept it up now, but who knows? Certainly not me. Is this worth firing up and attacking into? Probably. It looks like Mitchell's not willing to make that happen, though.
Yeah, I might fire up the Ravine here to block the Voice. I don't hate that.
It's not good, but it's whatever.
It's not ideal. Here's a Bolt for the Ravine. Takes 5 to 5. Yeah, I wouldn't say Mitchell drew particularly well here. Maybe the hand was a mulligan.
I think it was not a keepable hand, but double skews seems okay.
I think you just want that like heavy Bolt Planeswalker hand.
Right. Well, you only have 4 bolts in the deck, and you're not going to have like there's some percentage of hands that you're going to keep that don't have that.
Sure.
So I'm not 100% sold on that, but you could certainly mulligan to something better.
It's one of my least favorite cards in Modern, Knight of the Reliquary, but
one of your least favorite cards.
I think the card is so bad.
So bad.
Well,
so bad.
That's the Naya pile coming at you.
Nile pile in your face.
Beating down the Jund deck.
Just beats it down. Like I said, it's
boom boom.
It can be a very bad matchup. Typically, it's a little unfavored just because they have a lot of redundancy and a lot of ways of interacting with you that you're not prepared to fight on. So, we've got about 20 minutes before round 3. We're going to find another good one, so we'll be back here probably about 15. We'll turn this over pretty quick.
Will we?
I guarantee it.
Guaranteed. Come on back.
Guaranteed. See you soon.